Welcome to Fitness and Sport Evolution's warm-up of the day. My name is Heather Herbeck, and I'm just going to share with you what I typically do as my warm-up routine, since a lot of the videos that I've been releasing lately have been the workouts themselves. So I want to show you a general warm-up, some of my favorite exercises that I personally like to do in my warm-up. Typically, I like to do 10 repetitions of each of these movements. I'm going to shorten it to about 3 to 5 on a side, or 3 to 5 reps total, just for time purposes. And hopefully 3 to 5 is enough to give you a general idea of the movement. All right, so first I like to start on the floor. This is a upper back opener, chest opener, shoulder opener, called open book. You want your knees about hip height, shoulders stacked, hips stacked, and you're just gonna open the front of your body to the ceiling. This is slow and controlled and mindful. I'm just gonna show you the other side, just so you know what I'm doing with my arm. Your goal is to try to get the back of the shoulder to the floor and not just the hand, but really rotate. Don't stress or force anything. Just go with what your body wants to give you for the morning. All right, next I'd like to go into some cat-cow. On your hands and knees, you're gonna round your back, and you're gonna look up to the ceiling. So this is a pelvic mobility, upper back opener. I follow this directly with wag the tail. You keep yourself stacked over your hands and knees, and all you do is shift. Kind of tilt your hips one direction and look back at your imaginary tail, and then you switch. And what you should be feeling here for wag the tail is this opening through the side body. All right, next I go into hip hinges with a hamstring stretch. So I hinge forward into a lunge. I gently push my knee out a little bit, and then I seesaw myself back into a hamstring stretch. And I just go back and forth. I like to do about 5 or 6 on a side. And again, this is the warm-up. So you want to keep your body moving to increase that blood flow and to get your body nice and warmed up. Showing you from the front, lunging forward, seesaw back. You want to try to keep your knee over your ankle and your heel on the floor. All right, then I like to get my heart rate up a little bit. So I'll do either repetitions or 30 seconds of jog in place or jumping jacks or jump rope. Whatever kind of gets your heart rate up and your full total body moving. Moving into leg swings. I'm using this foam roller just for some support. Typically, I like to use the wall just to kind of ground my upper body. But with good posture, core nice and engaged, you're just gonna swing that leg forward and back. It's not about height. It's just about getting that hip to move through the joints. 10 on one side. 10 on the other side. And then I move into across the body. Again, I like to hold onto the wall typically to stabilize my upper body. 10 on one side. 10 on the other side. All right, moving into a hamstring opener and a shoulder, an exercise to warm up the shoulders. Worm crawls, one of my favorites. Come on down, you crawl yourself into a good solid plank. And you walk yourself back up to standing. Notice how I am minimizing any extra movement in the hips. Walking yourself to plank, locking it in. Now warming up the quads. I like to do these walking forward. You can also do them standing in place. For today's purposes, I'll just do them standing in place. You are gonna alternate, stretching out the quads. Excuse me one second. Something popped up on my screen. All right, so warming up the quads here. Notice how my knee points straight down, and you're gonna shift your hips forward just a little bit. You don't wanna be like this. Push your hips forward, and you'll feel a nice stretch through the front of the leg. All right, lastly, I like to open up my hips and inner thighs with wide-legged squats. So I'm gonna hunker down, and I'm going to just kind of shift my weight a little bit side to side, and then I'll release this stretch. And just kind of stretch the hamstrings a little bit. Come back down, see if I can hunker down a little bit more, shimmy side to side. Release, side profile. You want to keep your back flat. Hamstring stretch. Wide squat. And obviously, if you can't get this far down, you go with what range of motion you have, or another good inner thigh opener is just coming over to one side, gently pushing that knee out a little bit. You'll feel a nice stretch in here. Then you're gonna shift over to the other side. Weight is on that heel, okay? Weight is on this heel. And notice how this knee likes to cave in, and I'm gently giving it an external rotation. And I just go side to side about 8 to 10 times. All right, so that's my typical general warm-up for my workouts. Enjoy, use this as your warm-up before your workouts at home. Have a great day.